All right, boys and girls, so this is your warm-up. You have it in Google Classroom, so go ahead and solve the warm-up for October 10th. Okay, so pause your video, solve your warm-up, and then come back to it. Remember to follow your integer rules. All right, so hopefully you finished your warm-up. I waited a little bit to go ahead and start back up. So subtracting rational numbers. Today we're working with subtraction of rational numbers, and you're going to be working with decimals. Okay? So our objective is the same, our SE, okay? 7.3b, which is apply and extend previous understanding of operations to solve problems using addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of rational numbers. So these are 6th grade rules for adding integers, okay, that you should already know, okay? So same sign. So if you have two negatives or two positives, what operation do we do? You're going to add, okay? And then, of course, keep the sign. So you add and then keep the sign. So if they're both negatives, you're going to add them, and then it's just going to be, your answer would be negative. If they're both positive, you'll add them and keep your answer as a positive. And then different signs, if your signs are different, if you have a negative and a positive or a positive and a negative, what do we do? So we're going to subtract, okay? So with different signs, you subtract, but what do? Keep the sign of the, we keep the sign of the what? That's correct. Of the greater number. Or absolute value, either one. Greater number or absolute value, okay? And then your sixth grade subtraction of decimal rules, okay? And so on your notes, you have a section that says important rules. These are things that you could be writing on there, okay? So for subtraction, remember you have to write the greater one or bigger one on top. Greater one on top, sorry. And then what do you have to do with your decimal? You line up the decimal point, and then of course you do your math. So then you would subtract. Okay? So when you're subtracting decimals, you're gonna write the greater one on top or the bigger one on top, and then line up the decimal and do the math. Okay, so this is our first example. So we're gonna follow our subtraction rules. So we're gonna write our bigger one on top and then line up the decimal. So which one of these is greater, 456 and 65 hundredths or 23 and 435 thousandths? So yeah, so although one ends in hundreds and one ends in thousands, 456 has a greater whole number, so 456.65 would go on top, and then at the bottom we would have 23. And so you have to line up your decimals. So if you see, I lined up my decimal, therefore lining up my numbers. My 2 landed underneath my 5, my 3 underneath my 6. Put in a 0 as my placeholder. Another way you can think about it is lining up your place value. So my 3 is in my 1's place, so I'm gonna put it in my 1's on my other number. My 2 is in my 10's place, so I'm gonna put it in my 10's, under my 10's. Okay. So now I can go ahead and subtract. Okay. 0 minus 5, I can't do that, so I have to borrow. And so that is now 10. Okay. So 10 minus 5 is 5. 4 minus 3 is 1. 6 minus 4 is 2. 6 minus 3. 3 is correct. And then 5 minus 2. 3 is correct again. And then we bring down our 4. So we have 433 and 215 thousandths. Okay. So now this is your you-do. So you're going to go ahead and do this one on your own. Remember, you have to follow your same steps that we followed here, which were what? What were our steps we followed? We put the bigger number on top. And then lined up the decimal. Okay, so now that you have that, remember you have to follow the same steps. And of course, after we lined up the decimals, we did our subtraction. So go ahead and solve this one. Pause your video so you can solve the you-do, and then come back once you're done. Okay, so hopefully you're done. Okay, so you should have put the bigger one on top. So the bigger one was 164 and 33 hundredths. And the smaller one was 23 and 56 hundredths. Again, if you notice, I lined up my decimal. And then I lined up my digits. Okay, so go ahead and you should have already solved that. So if you didn't set it up like this, make sure you set it up like this. And solve. Okay. So because if you didn't set it up like this, chances are you don't have the right answer. Okay. So now we have real world practice. And you have this part on your notes. It says find the mistake. So you're gonna look at this problem and find the mistakes. It says Eddie went to the store with $7.50. He bought 2 bags of chips for $1.76 each and a Coca-Cola for $1.80. How much money does Eddie have remaining? So where was it? What did he do wrong? Okay, so you find his mistake and tell me that on your notes. Okay, and then when you're done, come back for the next we do and the you do. Okay, so hopefully you have already answered the top part. That's something I'm going to be looking for on your notes. Okay, and this is your first we do. It says Jason has $450 with 25 cents in his bank account. He goes to the sneaker store and buys a pair of Jordan 4 Oreos for $225.99. He then goes to the snack shop and spends $25.95 worth of snacks. How much money does he have left after his purchase? So if this is how much money he has in his bank account, is this a positive or a negative? So that's gonna be a positive, okay? So that's how much that's how much money you have in your bank account, that's a positive, okay? And then it says he buys a pair of Jordan 4 Oreo for $225.99. Is that a positive or a negative if you're buying something? Okay. So this would be, if you said a negative, you're correct. This is a negative because you're buying something. So that means you're subtracting it. You're taking it away. Okay. Your bank account is going down. So it says he then goes to the snack shop and spends $25.95 worth of snacks. So again, if he spends that money, again, it is a negative. Okay. So we want to know how much money he has left after his purchases. So we have to subtract. So we can do this one of two ways. We can subtract each of those numbers, or we can subtract $225.99 from $450, and then whatever we get, we subtract $25.95 from that. Or you can combine your two negatives and then subtract. I like to do that, so I feel like it's a little bit easier. You still have to add your line up your decimals. Sorry, I am gonna add those two. 9 plus 5 is 14. Here you're 1. 1 plus 9 is 10. Plus 9, 19. Correct. And bring down your decimal. 1 plus 5, 6 plus 5, 11. Correct. Carry your 1 again. 1 plus, or carry another 1, sorry. 1 plus 2, 3 is correct. Plus 2, 5. So in total, this is how much he has spent. So this would be a negative because those were both negative. So this is, so now that this is, we know this is how much he has spent, we can go ahead and subtract that from his beginning account balance. So we're going to take, oh, that's probably hard for you to see on here, right? Let me just put it in black. So we're going to take 450.25 minus how much he had spent, which was 251.94. So go ahead and subtract those. Go ahead and subtract that on your paper, okay? You should be able to do that. All right, so hopefully you have already subtracted that. So let's go ahead and check your answer. So 5 minus 4, 1. 2 minus 9. Nope, not 7. You have to borrow. Can I borrow from 0? No, that means I have to borrow from the 5. That becomes a 4. This should be a 10, but because I'm going to borrow from here for the 2, it becomes a 9, and this becomes 12. So 12 minus 9, 3 is correct. Bring down your decimal. 9 minus 1, 8. 4 minus 5, can I do that? Nope, I have to borrow from this 4 here. That now becomes a 3, and your 4 becomes 14. Oops, sorry guys. 14 minus 5, 9 is correct. And then 3 minus 2, 1. So that means his, how much money he has left in his account is $198.31. So Jason has $198.31 left in his account. All right, so let's go ahead. This is your you-do. So go ahead and we'll text code together, and then you can do it on your own. Okay, it says Priscilla is making friendship jewelry. She has $32 and 75 inches of elastic string to work with. She makes a necklace that is 15 and 586 thousandths inches long. She also makes a bracelet that is 6.87 inches long. How much elastic string does she have left? So if this is how much she has in string, is that a positive or a negative? Yes. Oh, sorry guys, I accidentally hit undo. Okay, so this would be a positive. Okay, and so then if she makes a necklace that is 15.586 inches long, is that a negative or a positive? That is going to be a negative, because if she's making a necklace, that means she's taking it off of the elastic she already has. Essentially, she's cutting off a piece of string that's 15 and 586 thousandths off of the initial piece she had. Okay, and then she also makes a bracelet that is 6 and 87 hundredths inches long. So if she makes this bracelet, is that going to be a positive or a negative? If you said a negative, you are correct. Okay, so again, you can solve it one of two ways. You can solve it like I did the we do, or you can subtract each of these separately. So you could subtract 15,586 from 3275. Okay, and then whenever you get your answer, subtract this, or add the two negatives and then subtract it from the positive. Just remember that you are putting your larger number on top, and by larger I mean greater value, not the one with the most digits. No, it's the one that has a greater value. Okay, so you might have to add some placeholders. Sorry, not place values, placeholders for your place values. All right. So once you're done with that, you're going to go ahead and move on to your independent practice. Okay. You have your independent practice on Google Classroom. You're gonna open it with Kami and do it with that. So your voice level should be a 0 really, just because I am out today. So if you do need help, raise your hand, and an adult in the classroom will come to you to try to help you. Okay. So your independent practice is this handout. Okay. So the first two, level 1 is simple. It's just plain number problem. Level 2 is 2-word problems that are maybe a little bit harder than the first ones. And then level 2 is going to be, of course, oh, all 4 of those are level 2. Sorry, I thought it was a level 3. And then you have the challenge question. Yes, try to complete the challenge question. Do the best you can. Okay. It also helps me see if you're ready to, for something a little bit more challenging. Okay. So it's not always completely hard for you, the challenge question. It could be that it just adds another step or something. It's not like super hard. Okay. So make sure you do this. This independent practice is due at the end of class, so make sure you complete it. Okay. And have a good day. Please be on your best behavior for the sub or one of the other math teachers in the case y'all got split up, if no sub came in today. Okay. I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye, guys.